going to begin firstly. I mean, Blindspotting, when I first saw the film, it just felt so creative and unique and original. I guess that must be the case for you, just as someone who's sort of in the industry and constantly like looking at scripts and projects. Have you ever sort of encountered anything quite like this new franchise?
No. I think that's one of it's why I was drawn to the piece. I first read it at a table read when they were doing edits, and they just asked me to come down and read like all the female roles in it, and just to be able to see it blossom into what it is now. And just knowing Rafael and David and how their brains work, and just how they see the world through their eyes and through this really dope creative world. It's I respect it so much, and I agree with them, and that's how I see the world as well. So it's been so awesome to see it blossom into what it is now.
Yeah, I mean, it could so easily not work, but it does. And is that down, do you think, to the strength of the writing by Rafael and David?
100%. I think it's got a lot to do with this cast, and it has a lot to do with the writing and the idea of the show. I think when you kind of talk about it, it's like, how does this all work? It doesn't work. But a lot of these people that are involved in the show have a huge, big theater background, and are poets and are musicians and are writers and wear many hats in this business, and want to see that in a piece, in an art piece. And on top of that, you have this amazing cast and all of these people that believe in the show and just want to do their best. So you mix all that in a pot, and you get something really cool that is I've just never seen in a TV show before.
Yeah, the acting's quite good too. I should have said. But at what stage was the discussion had to kind of turn this into a series? When you were making the film, were conversations already taking place, or was it something that you sort of just learned about and spoke about afterwards?
No, not at all. When we were doing the film, it was just like, we got to make this film, and we need to get it out there. And we were so happy that it got to Sundance and all of these like amazing places and things. And we were just so excited that we made it, and I got a call from Rafael and David almost 3 years ago, and they were like, Lionsgate wants to make it into a TV show, but we don't want to do it and make it about us. We've already told that story, and we don't have to keep telling it. We're done with that. But what we'd love to see is you do Ashley again and lead the show. And so I was so excited about it. And, Ashley has been brewing in my mind for a very long time, and who she is and her backstory and really how we all kind of see the show. And she's gone through so many drafts and so many different situations and different characters that we've introduced that, in November when we shot it, it's like seeing where we've come and how far we've come and just the different edits of what it's all been through. It's just great that we get a bigger platform, and we really get to kind of go in on all our creative ideas and how to tell, this new story with some of the same characters from the film.
Yeah, because I guess as an audience member, it's great for us to kind of see Ashley fully realized with like more time and more space. But I guess for you as well, because when it comes to like making a movie, you'll do this prep, you'll do a backstory, you'll kind of really get into the head of the character. And then eventually there's a wrap party, and then it's kind of pushed away. But I guess it must be great because you probably felt like you'd only just started. So this must be, for you to the chance to explore this character more.
Yeah, I was just so happy that I got to really, explore Ashley more. In the film, you just see her for a couple of moments, and yeah, you get this idea of who she is, and then you're done. But this is, it's a completely different beast. And it's my first time leading in a TV show, and really carrying that role, and what that means. And but it was such a supporting and loving and collaborative space. And our brains were working nonstop on this show. So yeah, it's an amazing opportunity, and just amazing that I get to do it with my friends.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned your friends. I mean, there seems to be, obviously, there's a kind of a continuing strand, or like a thread between Hamilton and Blindspotting. And it seems like the Hamilton family is still so strong. Does everyone still keep in touch? Is there like a Hamilton WhatsApp group and stuff?
Oh yeah, we all keep in touch. We all try to see each other. I mean, when you go through an experience like that, it's how could you not be close to some of these people? I mean, we all went through something and shared so many special and amazing moments together, that the amount of times you try to explain to somebody, they'll never really understand. And so there's this common understanding of this experience that we shared, and all the ups and downs and amazing, whirlwind of a moment. And everybody, we're all fans of each other. It's like, we're all cool with each other, but we're all huge fans of each other, and it makes me so happy when I get to see my friends on screen, because they all deserve their moment, and they all deserve a time to shine. So.
Yeah. And you mentioned, obviously, this is being your first kind of leading role. How helpful was it having people like Helen Hunt around on set? Because someone who's obviously been there and done it, she's been a sort of leading lady many times before. Was it good to work with sort of experienced sort of TV actresses and film actresses on this project?
Yeah, I mean, Helen Hunt is such a legend, and she has, such a loving energy about her. She's an actor, she's a producer, she's a director, she's a writer, she's literally worn so many hats in this industry, and it shows. And just to work with her is like a masterclass, and she's so particular and yet so effortless in how she plays Rainey. Rainey is a very complicated and all over the place big character, and yet it's like water. She just flows into it, and she just makes it doesn't look hard, and Rainey is such a hard character to play, and she just does it so well. So, she's been such a huge fan of the movie as well. And, she cares a lot about the show, and a lot of the cast and people that worked on this show really cared about it, and we all really wanted to do our best.
And you mentioned that she wears lots of different hats, but is that something you want to do more of? I know, am I right in thinking you produced an episode in this series?
Yeah, I was kind of, I came on creatively as a producer, and, in a way I really was able to get some input in a way that I've never really got the opportunity to do. And, I've just been a part of the show and the idea of the show for so long. I was involved in a lot of these conversations in creating the show. So, yeah, I write my own stuff, and I've been creating my own pieces. And, I have a little bit of time in the summer, and I want to write my album. And, yeah, I've been working on my own TV shows and films and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that I would love to do eventually, and direct and produce more, for sure.
Yeah, my final question, because obviously you mentioned the music as well. I mean, your parents are both in the arts. So was creativity and performance something you just always wanted to do ever since you were a child?
Yeah, I had no choice as a kid. I was constantly surrounded by creative energy, whether it was going on a gig with my mom or going to the theater and watching my dad on stage act. And, you know, a lot of casts became my family and my aunties and uncles. And, you know, it was almost inevitable in a way. It was such a world that I understood at such a young age, but I also knew how hard it was. And, you know, it really wasn't until I played Edith in Pirates of Penzance in an opera workshop in high school where I was like, oh, maybe this is something that I want to do. Yeah, I think it was inevitable though, man. It's like, it's in my veins. It's in my blood for sure.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today, and best of luck with the release of the series. I think it's just brilliant, and I can't wait. I'm hoping there might even be more in the future. Who knows? Hopefully.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!